Hi guys, today let's talk about the extension for the student debt freeze. President Biden is not the only one who's forgotten about $2,000 stimulus check promises. Governor Tom Wolf of Pennsylvania hasn't said anything about his proposed stimulus checks for the same amount in more than 2 months. These people make promises for stimulus and then they're just kind of forgetting everything. Stop playing with the American people. World War III trended worldwide recently, and this is due to missiles hitting a NATO nation. Now, the blame was instantly cast upon Vladimir Putin. A more thorough look at it seems to show that this could have actually been a faulty missile coming from a country you are not going to expect. Do you guys think that they are trying to push World War III at this point for your daily dose of the truth when it comes to the US economy, the stock market, false stimulus check updates, all forms of stimulus updates, passive income, social security, and everything that's going on in Washington, D.C. that affects our lives, our families, and our bank accounts? And I'm not sure if you guys were aware of this, but Monty, Oregon counties join Idaho in what's called the Greater Idaho Movement. Wouldn't it be interesting to see now if it does happen? Congress could have to sign off on it. If approved, it could create the country's third largest state geographically. Now, when we read or we hear about states sending out stimulus checks, this kind of reminds me of the $2,000 stimulus payments that were being pushed by Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf, which now seems to be a forgotten promise. There are reports that Biden is considering the 8th extension of this repayment. These are stimulus checks in excess for rich people. That was Jagan McDowell. She also follows it up by saying that restaurants are booming because the country is filled with people who aren't paying student loans. And this gives the impression that the economy is in a much better place than it actually is. Student loan forgiveness is being seen as a form of a stimulus checkup to a $10,000 stimulus check for some of them, especially as a majority of them have already planned to use the breathing room to spend on vacations and eat. What will you do with an extra $10,000 in your pocket? Breathing room is definitely something that Target cannot afford right now at their weighted Target earnings. Well, they missed it a lot since consumers are now switching their purchase patterns. In the later weeks of the quarter, sales and profit trends softened meaningfully with gap-stopping behavior increasingly impacted by inflation, rising interest rates, and economic uncertainty. This resulted in a third quarter profit performance below our expectations. Poland, a NATO country, got hit by a missile that killed 2 people. It gave me a cold sweat and things were about to go down, so the blame game pointed everything toward Putin. But you'd have to think to yourself, he is really trying to put his nation into a world war with the biggest alliances of military nations in history and ultimately start World War III? Well, turns out that he's not, because the missile didn't come from them. Instead, it's likely that it was a Ukrainian missile that was accidentally shot into Poland. How do you accidentally fire a missile into the wrong country? They are saying that they were merely trying to intercept a Russian missile. President Zelensky, on the other hand, said that he wants to lead the investigations, but couldn't that be a conflict of interest? It's kind of like you are the one that's being accused of something and you are the one that's going to lead the investigation as the person being accused. Well, of course, you are not going to find a problem with what happened, right? The people need the truth, not some BS. I mean, with $400 million worth of American taxpayers' stimulus money, do you think that they could learn how to use the missiles properly? Anyway, I'm just saying now, the midterm elections are not done. But it looks like the American people have already decided on the Democrats. They keep the Senate, while the House is now officially under a Republican majority after Kevin Kelly. He won the House of Representatives. President Biden has also recently said that he doesn't believe that they will be able to codify Roe vs. Wade. He also said that things were going to be very close in the House, while admitting that he didn't think that they were going to make it. Critics are now asking why they didn't do anything about it when they had a majority vote both for abortion and even for debt relief. Sounds like somebody's playing some ball over there. Others say that they were merely talking points and announcements to get people to go out and vote. Now, the elections are done and so are their promises. Do you guys believe that they could do that to the American people? Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I wish you all good health and better days to come. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.